Welcome to Bookish and Beyond, money, where financial wisdom comes to life. In each episode, we break down the world's most impactful finance books, from money management guides to investment biographies. We explore key takeaways, author insights, and draw modern parallels to help you navigate today's financial landscape. Craving even more? Subscribers enjoy exclusive access to detailed book summaries, study guides, and timeline PDFs. Everything you need to deepen your financial savvy. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. This is Bookish and Beyond. Money?
All right, get ready. It's time for a deep dive into Dave Ramsey's Total Money Makeover. And for this one, we'll be working with excerpts from his audiobook transcript on YouTube. Yeah, so get ready for some serious financial myth-busting and a whole lot of wealth-building strategies. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, wait, I already know all about Ramsey's plan.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah, but trust me on this one, we're going to be diving deeper, way beyond the surface. So whether you're a longtime Ramsey fan or, just starting your financial journey, this deep dive is going to be packed with insights that'll help you step up your money game.
Exactly. And we're going to really dissect the psychology behind Ramsey's methods, compare his approach to other financial strategies out there, and really get down to the nitty-gritty of how to actually apply these principles, in your own unique situation.
Yeah. Love it. And Ramsey, he just jumps right in. He tackles this whole concept of denial head on. He tells this story about this couple, Sarah and John. They were just coasting along, thought they were doing okay financially, until Sarah unexpectedly lost her job. It was like a major wake-up call, forced them to really confront their actual financial situation. And, well, it wasn't pretty.
It's kind of crazy how easy it is to just slip into denial about money, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
We focus on those good months, ignore all the warning signs. And sometimes maybe even try to keep up with the Jonas a little too much.
Yeah, totally. And Ramsey, he uses this, kind of brilliant analogy to really illustrate this point. He compares us, like us humans, to monkeys in this experiment.
Yeah.
The one where they train the monkeys to not reach for bananas by spraying them with water?
Right.
And eventually the monkeys, they start pulling each other down, even without the threat of getting sprayed.
Wow, I never thought about it like that.
Right. It's powerful stuff.
Yeah.
So Ramsey argues that we do the same thing with debt. We just kind of accept it. Like it's totally normal without ever questioning how it's actually impacting our lives.
That's so true. We just kind of accept it as the norm.
Right.
Yeah.
And from there, he just goes on to debunk all these common debt myths like, debt is a tool or leasing is sophisticated, like all those things we hear over and over and just kind of accept without really thinking critically about them.
Yeah, just kind of accept it as truth.
Yeah. And his stance is crystal clear. Debt, it's keeping you from building real wealth. It only benefits, the lenders.
Oof. Tough but true.
Right.
Yeah, it's a message that can be a little hard to hear sometimes, especially, in a culture that's constantly pushing debt as the only solution. But it's a necessary reality check. It forces us to challenge those assumptions we have and consider alternative ways to reach financial freedom.
It's all about challenging those assumptions. And speaking of challenging assumptions, Ramsey also goes deep on financial literacy and the dangers of peer pressure. He argues that, understanding how money actually works, it's absolutely crucial. And that whole keeping up with the Joneses thing, it's a recipe for disaster.
It is, yeah.
It's all about, trying to impress other people, but at the expense of your own financial well-being.
Right, exactly. And he brings back Sarah's story to kind of illustrate this, remember? How she finally broke free from that family tradition, of going all out with extravagant Christmas gifts. That took a lot of courage.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it really highlights how important it is to evaluate our own spending habits.
Yeah.
Are we trying to, project an image of wealth?
Yeah.
Or are we actually building a solid financial future?
That's the question, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, now this is where things get really interesting. Ramsey introduces his famous, 7 baby steps to reach financial stability and ultimately build wealth. And he's very clear that, following these steps in order is key and attacking them with what he calls gazelle intensity. That's non-negotiable.
Okay, I love that phrase, gazelle intensity. But before we unpack that whole thing, can we talk about why the order of these steps is so important?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You see, each step, it builds on the one before it. It creates this like solid foundation for long-term success. You can't just like jump ahead to investing if you're still like drowning in debt.
Right, that makes sense. So let's break down these baby steps, starting with step 1. What's the first hurdle we got to clear?
All right, so baby step 1, it's all about creating a starter emergency fund of $1,000. It's not about having like a huge cushion just yet. It's about stopping those like small financial leaks, the ones that can really derail your progress.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a safety net for those unexpected expenses, like a flat tire or your washing machine breaks down.
Exactly. It's about breaking that cycle of relying on credit cards for like every little hiccup. It's like building a small dam to stop those leaks before you tackle the bigger flood of debt.
I love that analogy, the dam.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got our little dam in place. What's next?
Now we're ready to like face the beast. Baby step 2 is all about attacking that debt with the debt snowball method.
Okay, yeah, I've heard of the debt snowball, but I've also heard, some criticism of it. Can you break it down for us?
Absolutely. So the debt snowball, it's all about listing out all your debts from smallest to largest. And this is regardless of the interest rates. You just pay the minimums on everything except that smallest debt. And then you throw every extra dollar you can find at that smallest debt until it's poof, gone.
So instead of, focusing on the debt with the highest interest rate, you go for the smallest one first.
Exactly. Now, I know that might seem like counterintuitive to some people, but there's this really powerful psychological reason behind it. The debt snowball, it's all about building momentum, creating those like quick wins to keep you motivated.
It's like that feeling you get when you finally finish that first mile of a marathon.
Yeah, exactly. It gives you the energy and the confidence to tackle the next challenge. So once that smallest debt is gone, you roll that payment amount plus any extra money you have onto the next smallest debt. And the snowball, it just keeps growing and growing.
So it's kind of like playing on the psychology of behavior change more than, pure math.
Absolutely. Remember, we're dealing with humans here, not just like numbers on a spreadsheet.
Right. So we're tackling those smaller debts with like laser focus. Is that where that whole gazelle intensity thing comes in?
You got it. Think about it. Gazelles, they outrun cheetahs, not because they're faster, but because they're like way more focused and they're more determined. That same laser focus, it's crucial when you're tackling debt. Ramsey encourages people to, take on extra jobs, sell stuff they don't need, anything to accelerate that snowball.
Yeah, it sounds intense, but I get it. Like that energy, that focus, it can make a huge difference. It's about like shifting your whole mindset and becoming relentless in your pursuit of financial freedom.
Exactly. And remember, we're talking about like all debt here, except for the house. We'll get to that a bit later. For now, it's about clearing the decks and building that solid foundation for financial security.
Okay, I'm with you. So we've confronted our denial, busted some debt myths, built our starter emergency fund, and we're rolling that debt snowball with gazelle intensity. What's next on this journey to financial freedom?
Now that we've, cleared out some of that smaller debt, it's time to build like a bigger, stronger dam, right?
Yeah, I like that.
So baby step 3, it's all about creating a fully funded emergency fund. That covers 3 to 6 months of living expenses.
Oh, wow. Okay, so we're talking about a more significant cushion here, like enough to, really weather a financial storm.
Exactly. This isn't just about like flat tires anymore. It's about having a safety net for, job loss, unexpected medical bills, or, really any major life disruption that could totally throw you off course financially.
Yeah, this feels like a huge step toward like feeling truly secure financially. No more panicking every time something unexpected comes up.
That's exactly it. It's about achieving peace of mind, knowing you can handle those curveballs without falling back into debt.
Right, because you've got that cushion. Okay, that makes sense. And Ramsey mentions, this step really forces you to understand your expenses. It's about figuring out your needs versus wants and making like conscious choices about where your money's going.
Yeah, it's a powerful exercise in like prioritizing and budgeting, really. Taking control of your finances instead of letting them control you.
It's about being intentional, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got our emergency fund in place. Now it's time to start thinking about the long game, right? Like retirement.
Not so fast. Remember what we said about that foundation. Before we jump into long-term investing, Ramsey addresses something that's, on a lot of people's minds. Buying a house. He calls it like baby step 3B. saving for a down payment.
Ah, the American dream, right?
Yeah.
But he's not saying, like, rush into home ownership.
No, not at all. He's very adamant that you should only consider buying a home after you're completely debt-free, except for your mortgage, of course, and you've got that fully funded emergency fund.
Yeah, that makes sense. You got to be financially prepared for such a huge commitment. Nobody wants to be house rich but cash poor, right?
Exactly. It's about making smart, informed decisions, not letting your emotions, drive the process.
Not letting your emotions run the show.
Yeah.
Okay, so once you've tackled those first 3 steps, then we can start talking about, building some serious wealth. With baby step 4.
All right, let's talk long-term security.
Yeah, baby step 4, investing 15% of your gross income for retirement. I've heard that 15% number a lot. But why that specific number?
That's a great question. Ramsey, he's found that 15%, it strikes a balance between aggressive wealth building and still leaving room for other financial goals, like saving for college or paying off your house early.
Right, because those are important too. It does seem like, a significant chunk of income, though, to dedicate to retirement, especially, when you're just starting out.
It can feel daunting, I get that. But remember, it's about building that habit of consistent investing. You don't have to start with 15% right away. You can work your way up to it over time. And, the power of compound interest. It means even small contributions can grow significantly over the long term.
Time is on your side. Okay, that makes sense. So where does Ramsey suggest we put this 15%? I don't think stuffing it under the mattress is a good strategy.
Definitely not. He's a big advocate for mutual funds, specifically growth stock mutual funds. He believes they offer the best potential for long-term growth.
Okay, and he talks about, choosing funds with a solid track record, at least over 5 years, preferably 10. He's not interested in chasing those, short-term games.
Right.
It's about building a portfolio that can, weather those market fluctuations.
Exactly, playing the long game, not gambling on, risky bets. He also stresses diversifying, across different types of funds, like growth and income growth, international, aggressive growth.
So spreading your eggs across multiple baskets.
Yeah.
To manage risk and, maximize growth, but then smart move.
He also advises taking advantage of any, employer matching contributions to your 401k and maximizing those Roth IRA contributions if you qualify. These tax-advantaged accounts can supercharge your retirement savings.
I'm starting to see why he calls it building wealth.
Yeah.
It's not just about saving. It's about making your money work for you. But, Ramsey's not just saying blindly follow financial advisors, is he?
No way. He's all about empowering you to take control of your own finances. He recommends surrounding yourself with knowledgeable advisors, yeah. But ultimately, you're the CEO of your financial life.
It's about educating yourself, right? Making informed decisions and not being afraid to, ask questions.
Exactly. He even shares this example of this couple, Joe and Susie. They started with, an average income, but they consistently invested 15% for 40 years. Guess what they ended up with?
A lot of money, I'm guessing.
Nearly $6 million.
Wow, that's impressive.
Right.
It really is a testament to, discipline and consistent effort.
It's the snowball effect in action. Those early contributions, they started small, but they grew exponentially over time. Imagine the freedom and security that kind of wealth provides.
Yeah, that's the dream, right? It's inspiring to hear stories like that.
What about those of us who are starting, a little later in life? Is it even possible to catch up? Ramsey emphasizes that it's never too late to start. He tells the story about a woman named Gail. She was 57 and she felt, really discouraged about her lack of retirement savings. But he reminds her, the past is the past, and the best time to start is now.
That's a great message.
It is.
It's about taking ownership of your financial future, regardless of your age or your circumstances.
Yeah, forget about the regrets. Focus on what you can control and take action today to create a better tomorrow.
So powerful. Okay, so we built our emergency fund, we're tackling debt with laser focus, and we're investing 15% for retirement. I'm feeling pretty good about our progress so far.
Don't get too comfortable just yet. We've still got, a few more mountains to climb on this journey to financial freedom.
I'm ready to bring on those mountains.
Yeah.
What's baby step 5 all about?
Baby step 5, it tackles a topic that's, near and dear to many parents' hearts, saving for college. But Ramsey approaches this step with, a healthy dose of reality and some, unconventional advice.
I'm intrigued. He's not just saying, blindly throw money into a college fund, right?
No, not at all. He acknowledges that college is a major expense, yeah. But he also challenges some of the traditional thinking around it. He argues that, college isn't a guarantee of success or wealth. It's a tool, but not the only tool.
Right, it's not a magic ticket.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's not saying college is useless,
Yeah.
but rather that we need to be, realistic about what a degree does and doesn't guarantee.
Exactly. And more importantly, he emphasizes that college should never be funded with debt.
Whoa, that's a bold statement.
Yeah.
Especially considering, the whole student loan crisis we're facing.
I know, right? He's seen firsthand the devastating impact that student loan debt can have on people's lives. He even shares this story about meeting with a dean at his alma mater. And the dean revealed that, many students, they were using their loans to fund like a lavish lifestyle, not just tuition.
Wow, so it's about, being responsible with those funds, avoiding that trap of like keeping up appearances, even when it comes to education. What's the alternative then? How does he suggest tackling college costs, without drowning in debt?
He recommends starting with an educational savings account, or ESA. It grows tax-free, and you can use it specifically for higher education expenses.
Okay, so start early, save consistently. He mentions ESAs have, an annual contribution limit of $2,000 per child. But he acknowledges that, that might not cover everything, especially for, multiple kids or those aiming for pricier schools.
Right, and that's where, his resourcefulness really comes in. He encourages families to get creative, explore work-study programs, look into companies that offer, tuition reimbursement, and even consider, military service options, like the National Guard.
So it's about, being proactive, thinking outside the box. Don't just blindly follow the crowd, but find a path that, aligns with your financial goals.
And your values.
Exactly. It's about taking control of your educational journey and making smart financial decisions. Okay, I love it. So we've saved for emergencies, tackled debt, secured our retirement, and we've even figured out college. What's next on the list?
Well, we can't forget about that big financial commitment we talked about earlier. The house. I think it's time to finally address baby step 6, paying off your mortgage.
Oh yeah, the big one.
Right. Now, this step, it can feel like, a major milestone, the final hurdle to becoming completely debt-free.
Imagine no more debt payments. It's like a weight lifted off your shoulders.
It's a fantastic feeling, and it opens up so many, financial possibilities. But Ramsey acknowledges that, a lot of people, they kind of push back on this step. They argue that it's smarter to keep the mortgage for the tax deduction or to invest that extra money elsewhere.
Interesting. So he's going against, some common financial advice here.
He definitely challenges the status quo.
Yeah, he does.
He points out that, those tax deductions, they aren't always what they seem. And carrying any kind of debt, it always increases your financial risk.
It's about, building that solid foundation before getting fancy with investment strategies.
That's right. He even, walks through the math, comparing a 30-year mortgage to a 15-year mortgage. And even though, the monthly payments are higher with a 15-year mortgage, you save a ton of money on interest over the life of the loan.
So you pay it off faster.
Mm-hmm.
And you save money in the long run.
Right.
That makes sense. It's about being strategic.
Yeah.
And understanding the long-term implications of your decisions. He also cautions against, those adjustable rate mortgages and those balloon mortgages.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Those can seem tempting at first, yeah. But they can lead to, unexpected financial strain down the road. Stability and predictability are key.
Right.
When it comes to your home financing.
Definitely. He even shares a story about this couple who saved $50,000 a year for 3 years to buy a $150,000 house in cash. Now that's commitment.
Talk about gazelle intensity. They delayed gratification, stayed laser focused on their goal, and achieved financial freedom at a young age. It's a powerful reminder that, sometimes the unconventional path leads to the most extraordinary results.
It's inspiring to see that it's possible.
Yeah.
To achieve those big financial goals, even if you don't, follow the traditional script.
Absolutely. And even if you can't buy a house in cash, Ramsey stresses the importance of, paying down your mortgage as quickly as possible.
So make extra payments whenever you can and treat it like a 15-year mortgage, even if it's not. It's about, creating that sense of urgency and focusing on that finish line.
Exactly. All right, take a deep breath. We've climbed some serious financial mountains here. We've tackled debt, built our emergency fund, invested for retirement, saved for college, and even conquered the mortgage.
We've done it all. It feels like we've reached the summit. What's left to do?
Well, my friend, now it's time to enjoy the view. Baby step 7, It's all about building wealth and giving generously. Now that you've, laid that solid financial foundation, it's time to, reap the rewards of your hard work.
Oh, this sounds like the fun part. Using your financial freedom to, live a life that's aligned with your values and make a positive impact on the world.
Right. He says there are 3 good uses for money: fun, investing, and giving. He encourages people to, enjoy their wealth, guilt-free, continue investing wisely, and find joy in generosity.
I love that. Guilt-free enjoyment.
It's important.
Yeah. He talks about reaching what he calls the pinnacle point, where your money is actually working harder than you are. It's about living off the income generated by your investments and having the freedom to, pursue your passions without those financial constraints.
Imagine having the resources to travel, pursue your hobbies, spend time with loved ones, and give generously to causes you care about. It's a powerful image of, financial security and abundance.
Yeah, it really is. Ramsey also stresses the importance of, continuous learning and growth. Even after you've reached a high level of financial success, he's all about, staying humble, avoiding complacency, and always seeking to improve your financial literacy.
It's about recognizing that, financial freedom, it's not a destination, it's an ongoing journey. It requires constant effort, learning, and adaptation.
Got to stay on top of it. He also warns against the dangers of, materialism and equating wealth with happiness. He encourages listeners to think about their legacy, what they want to leave behind. It's about making a difference in the lives of others and leaving the world, a better place than you found it.
It's a powerful reminder that, financial freedom, it's about so much more than just money. It's about living a life of, intention, purpose, and generosity.
So much more. Wow, we've covered a lot of ground today. We've explored all 7 baby steps and really unpacked Ramsey's philosophy on achieving financial freedom.
From confronting denial and busting those debt myths to building wealth and giving generously.
I have to say, this has been an incredibly insightful deep dive into Dave Ramsey's Total Money Makeover. It's not just about following a set of rules. It's about transforming your relationship with money and ultimately living a more fulfilling life.
Yeah, it's not about the money itself. It's about what the money allows you to do.
It's about the freedom it gives you. It's pretty amazing how Ramsey manages to connect those practical skills, managing your money and all that with a larger sense of, purpose. It's not just about becoming rich. It's about using your wealth to, make a real difference.
You're leaving a legacy.
Yeah. Okay, so we've walked through all 7 baby steps, from tackling that initial debt snowball to reaching that pinnacle point where your money is actually working harder than you are. It's been quite a journey. But now I'm curious, what's resonating with you, our listener? What's standing out as the most valuable takeaway from this whole deep dive?
For me, what really sticks out is that idea of shifting your mindset. Going from being a passive observer of your finances to becoming an active participant. Ramsey really emphasizes the importance of, taking ownership and making conscious choices. It's about realizing that you actually have more control than you might think.
Right. It's easy to feel overwhelmed by all the financial noise out there. But Ramsey reminds us that, we can cut through that noise and create a financial future that's aligned with, our values and our goals.
And ultimately, his message is one of hope and empowerment. He believes that anyone can achieve financial freedom, regardless of where they're starting from.
Yeah, it's not about being perfect. It's about progress. It's about taking action one step at a time.
Yeah.
And celebrating those wins along the way.
Exactly. He always says you can do anything financially if you do it one little step at a time.
Love that. It's about building that momentum and trusting the process.
And, remember, you're not alone on this journey. There are so many people out there who have embraced these principles, and they've achieved incredible financial transformations.
It's a community. So what's that one small step you can take today to start moving towards your financial goals? Maybe it's, creating a budget, or having that sometimes tough conversation with your partner about money, or automating your savings, or even just researching those different investment options.
Whatever it is, just take that first step.
The power is in your hands.
Yeah.
Now go out there and make it happen.
It's time.
And that wraps up our deep dive into Dave Ramsey's Total Money Makeover. We hope you found it insightful, inspiring, and empowering. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep diving deep.